Are you struggling with your fills when you're playing a song or when you're jamming with your friends? You're playing the drum beat, you're grooving along, knowing that there's a drum fill ahead of you and it scares the living daylight out of you. So that's anxiety while you're playing time, knowing a fill's coming up. Does that sound like you? Or perhaps your struggle could be where you're playing the drum beat and you're having issues getting into the drum fill. Maybe you're starting too soon, maybe you're a little bit too late, and it causes a bump in the time, which causes problems for everybody in the band. Or how about this? Maybe your entrance into the fill is okay, but getting out of the fill, going back to the time, that's where maybe you have a bump. You come in too soon or too late. Or perhaps the issue of just when you get to your fill, you're stuck. You kind of run out of ideas or you just draw a blank. If you're having any of these struggles, continue watching this video. Stay tuned. You're having these struggles because you're spending a lot of time keeping time, playing drum beats. Because when you think about it, when you are playing a song, you're pretty much doing like 95% time and maybe 5% fills. So there's a lot of mileage that goes into playing time. We have so little mileage in fills that when we go about playing them, we might feel anxiety and we might struggle. So what can we do to get rid of these struggles? Well, I have 5 specific phrasing exercises that will completely get rid of all of these issues. Now, before I get into those, I just want to welcome all of those who are here for the first time. Thank you for dropping by. If you like videos that help you improve your drumming, click subscribe and the notification bell, and you'll always be up to date with my most recent videos. So let's begin with the first exercise. This is where we are actually playing 1 bar of time, okay, 1 bar of drum beat playing, followed by 1 bar of a fill. You are repeating this over and over. 1 bar time, 1 bar fill, 1 bar time, 1 bar fill. And what this does is it's allowing you to put a lot of mileage into playing fills. In fact, it's a 50-50%, ratio. So you're constantly repeating the entrance into the fill. You're repeating the exit of the fill going back to the time. So those transition spots, okay, you're practicing them. So if there's any issues, you're going to be addressing them in this particular exercise by repeating it over and over and over. Now, when you're practicing these, you want to work with a metronome. And you also want to practice these at 3 different tempo ranges: a slow range, a medium range, and a fast range. Give yourself quite a bit of time in those range scenarios. Also, when you're playing your fill, here's what you want to do. Try to make your fill different each time. Eventually, things are going to come out and you're going to create things on the fly. Right now, you may have difficulty in the beginning doing this. So when that happens, just keep it simple. Just play your fills like quarter notes, eighth notes when you're drawing blanks until finally, the more you keep doing this 1 bar time, 1 bar fill, 1 bar time, 1 bar fill, eventually your fills start to get a little bit more interesting. Why? Because you're putting mileage into those fills. You're forcing yourself to do this. And this is how you're going to fix these issues. So here is an example of 1 bar time, 1 bar fill. This next one is 2 bars time, 2 bars fill. There are times where you might be doing a 2-bar fill. Music from the 60s is pretty notorious for this. Now, once again, because you are going into your fills quite often and you're repeating this over and over, once again, you're practicing your transitions going in and the transitions getting out. Now, when you're in your fill, try not to get overwhelmed. Oh my God, I have to play a long fill. No, play a 1-bar fill, followed by another 1-bar fill. Break it up that way until finally you start to feel it like a 2-bar phrase, okay? And once again, if you're drawing blanks, keep it simple. Quarters, eighths, sixteenths, until finally some interesting things start to come out, okay? So let's give this a go. Here's an example of 2 bars time, 2 bars fill at 3 different tempos. We're ready for our third exercise, our third phrasing exercise. This is where we play 1.5 bars time, 1/2 bar fill. Now this is something that is very common when you're playing fills in music. In fact, it's probably the most common length of fills that is used when you're playing along to songs, or you're playing music, you're jamming. Again, your transitions going in, transitions getting out are improving. It's hard to pre-think of what you're going to play because it's going to happen like quickly. So this exercise will help you deal with that. And eventually, when you're playing this over and over and over, you will get very good at playing those small little 1/2 bar fills. So here's an example of 1.5 bars time, 1/2 bar fill, played at 3 different tempos. So just a quick recap. Exercises 1 to 3 mainly will help you with the transitions in, transitions out, and just being spontaneous when you play your fills, allowing you to get that spontaneous muscle, okay? So that you're not drawing blanks when you're playing. But on this next phrasing exercise, this is where we deal with that anxiety issue. Remember, I mentioned earlier in the video that some of you might experience anxiety while you're playing time, knowing that a drum fill is coming up soon and it's freaking the heck out of you. So we want to get rid of that feeling. So this next exercise is designed for that. So it's 3 bars time followed by 1 bar fill. So if you notice here, the ratio, we have 3 to 1 ratio. We're spending more time on the time, on the beat, and then you play your 1 bar fill. So the cool thing about this is you're now practicing that feeling of playing time and having to wait until the drum fill happens. So when you start to feel this anxiety, you're going to have to deal with it. You play your fill, and if you mess it up, that's okay. Guess what? You get to do it all over again. 3 bars time, 1 bar fill. And what's happening is that anxiety feeling that you might get as you keep repeating this, that anxiety feeling should start to slowly go away until finally you get to the point where you're playing your 3 bars time and you're not even thinking about the fill. What you're going to play is just going to happen. So here's an example of 3 bars time, 1 bar fill. We are now at the final phrasing exercise, the 5th one. 7 bars time, 1 bar fill. Now this is the king of getting rid of anxiety because now you're dealing with having to play a drum beat for a long period of time, 7 bars before you play your fill. Because here you're practicing patience. You're playing your groove and you're being patient. And then eventually when you get to your fill, you're going to play your fill. So, if you're starting to feel anxiety by the 5th bar or 6th bar because you're getting close to the fill, well, this exercise is going to really help you big time with that. So now here's an example of 7 bars time, 1 bar fill. Well, that concludes the 5 phrasing exercises that get rid of these struggles. I'd like to take this moment right now to give you some tips while you're practicing these. Practice with the metronome. Practice at different tempos. Take it to the next level and try these exercises with a song. Put one of your favorite songs on. Something like Uptown Funk from Bruno Mars, for example, that has a nice steady groove to it, right? So play 1 bar time, 1 bar fill with that tune. Play 2 bars time, 2 bars fill with that song, and so on. It's amazing because now you are building so much confidence because you're playing these to an actual song. We're doing this so that you get rid of those struggles when you're playing along with the song. The more time you spend on these exercises, the quicker these struggles will go away. So don't waste any time. Go ahead and work on these. Click like if you like this video. Drop a comment if you have something that you would like to ask me or something you'd like to say. Share it with as many drummer friends as you like. Each time you do that, you're actually helping this video reach all of those people who are actually searching for this particular topic. And I'm sure they would really appreciate that. And of course, I would appreciate that as well. And once again, for those of you who are here for the first time, or for those who have been here a few times and haven't subscribed yet, just a reminder to subscribe, click the notification bell, and you'll always be up to speed with the most recent videos I release. So in closing, I'd like to say stay well, stay safe, practice those fills, and most of all, have so much fun. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.